Alright guys, let's talk Contact Front by Rick Partlow, his most highest rated work. This is military sci-fi done right, and if you're like me, if you love badass battle suits, space battles, and a hero who's not exactly your squeaky clean role model, then you're in for a good time. The story kicks off with Cameron Alvarez, a guy who's been dealt a pretty crap hand in life. He's this street kid, came up from the underground in a megacity, and basically, he's just trying to survive. One day, Cam gets busted for stealing drugs, and he's faced with a choice: spend a century in cryogenic hibernation or enlist in the Commonwealth Fleet Marine Corps. And of course, he chooses the military, because who wouldn't want to be in a war against badass alien invaders, right? And so, the book takes off. Cam joins the Marines, and right from the start, it's a non-stop roller coaster of military training, gritty combat, and alien war. There's no slow burn here, folks. It's fast-paced, and once you dive in, you're not coming up for air. Now, Cameron Alvarez isn't your typical squeaky clean hero. This guy's rough around the edges, and you get it. He's had a hard life. He's not here to save the galaxy. He's here because he's got no other choice, and that's what makes him relatable. He's cynical, he's raw, and you feel for him. He's basically trying to survive in this crazy future where humans live stacked on top of each other in these massive megacities, and then he's thrust into a war against the Tani, this alien race that's just wrecking the Commonwealth. But here's the thing. As rough as Cam is, you can't help but root for him. He's been through some serious shit, but when he steps into this giant battlesuit and starts fighting, this is what he was made for. It's cool to see his transition from street kid to soldier. Cameron Alvarez isn't a natural hero. He's reluctant, flawed, and often terrified. But in moments of chaos, with bullets flying and his squad depending on him, he finds something greater within himself, learning that courage is acting in spite of fear. His transformation isn't just about becoming a soldier. It's about rediscovering parts of his humanity that life on the streets buried long ago. He didn't ask for this role, but the war and the people around him are forcing him to grow. By the end of Contact Front, Cameron has evolved, though he still battles the weight of each death and every mistake. He's not an idealized hero, but a young man stumbling through an unforgiving world. This journey from street rat to Marine is raw, messy, and profoundly human. He's relatable because he's real, struggling to become the person he never thought he could be. And his path toward redemption makes Contact Front much more than a typical military sci-fi story. It's about one man's fight to find his place in a world that has tried to break him. Okay, let's get to the action. Dude, when the combat kicks in, it's full throttle. We're talking battle suits, massive mech-style armor, drop pods, and intense firefights. It's intense, man. You can feel the stress, the exhaustion, the constant pressure, and then he's assigned to a team, and there's that whole ragtag crew vibe. It's not just Cam versus the world. He's got fellow recruits and soldiers around him, which adds to the tension and dynamic. The battles are chaotic and brutal. You feel like you're right there in the middle of this interstellar war. There's no messing around. Rick Partlow makes sure you feel every blast, every shot, and the stakes are high. And the world building? Solid. Partlow gives us a glimpse of this future without bogging us down with too much detail. The Commonwealth, the megacities, the threat of the Tani. It all comes together through action. There's no crazy exposition dump. He lets the world unfold naturally while we're following Cam through these insane scenarios. Now, I'm not going to say this book is flawless. There are a few moments where Cam gets stuck in his own head. Some of those internal monologues, they go on a bit long, like, come on, man, we get it, you're conflicted. Now let's get back to the ass kicking. But honestly, that's a minor gripe. And sure, you might think, all right, we've seen this before. Kid from the streets becomes a soldier in a futuristic war. It's a trope, but Contact Front keeps it fresh. The stakes feel real, and Cam's journey keeps you hooked. So yeah, Contact Front. If you love military sci-fi, intense action, and a rough around the edges hero who grows into something bigger, this book's got it all. Is it the most original plot? Nah, but it's done well, and it's a damn good time. I've been sitting on this clip for a while. Now, finally, I can share it with you. This is Rick Partlow talking about why he thinks Contact Front became so popular.
I wrote this, and I liked it, obviously. I wouldn't have written it, but I didn't think when I wrote it that this was going to be the biggest thing I'd ever written. I just thought, oh, this is just another, series, war, military science fiction series. But I think it's the main character. His voice and his experience seems to reach people. And, he's an outsider who pretends not to care about anybody else and wants to be a loner and doesn't want to let anybody in. And yet he constantly finds himself defending helpless people from bullies, and doesn't know why he does it, because every time he does it, he gets his ass kicked and he gets in trouble, but he keeps doing it over and over.
Oh, and shout out to the other YouTubers who created their book review videos for Contact Front. You rock. So, what did you guys think of Contact Front? Have you read it? Are you into military sci-fi? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's talk about it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more DTU reviews coming your way. See you in the next one. Burn bright and burn enough.